What is going on YouTube? It is your boy Chris back again with another video. In this video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to trade with Futbin, how to use Futbin as an advantage going into FIFA 20. There's going to be 5 or 6 different points that I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you guys are enjoying the content I've been putting out for FIFA 20, drop a like on this video, subscribe also if you are new to the channel. A lot of really good content is about to be coming out, so don't want to miss any of the videos. Tap the bell button as well if you guys want to get notified for videos. Let's get into the video though. There's about 5 or 6 different things I want to touch on in this video. How to really understand how to go through Futbin and just learn how to trade that way. So the first thing I want to show you guys is just a simple search of a player on the market. So for example, I'm going to go look at, I always choose Koulibaly's team of the season card. And these are cards you can trade with every single day. And this is how you could see daily fluctuations on cards like Koulibaly. Any card in the game pretty much that is either in packs or out of packs. You can see the fluctuations if they're low in the morning, if they're really high at night, etc. So right now obviously his price is 275k. Now I just want to warn you guys, it is FIFA 19 cards, so they might not be very accurate in terms of the prices and the fluctuations. But when the game is alive, the fluctuations most of the time will matter. So right now, you obviously see his daily graph. There's an option here where you can basically go all. You could see his price the second he went into packs, and then up until today, pretty much. You can do all of that stuff. You could type in specific dates. So if I want to look at his card on July 8, I just look at that, and then I just set the filter to the 11th or 12th. If you want to see different days that he's been low or high or something like that, you can use that as well. You can go to hourly. Now hourly is where, if you look at his graph right now, I'm showing you his daily graph. This is the average listing price. This doesn't show you the whole picture. He could very well on Friday, July 19th, could have been in the morning 450k, but at night go to 530. It's the average listing price of that whole day. So if you guys want, you guys can look at the hourly graph, which is way more usable in my opinion. You really want to be looking at these cards, their hourlies. Daily graphs obviously are good, but hourlies do tell you a different picture sometimes, so it's just good to get a little bit of backup when it comes to determining if a player price is low or if he's too high. For example, yesterday there isn't really any fluctuation with a card like this, about 280 to 290k. But for example though, if at this time right here he's 250k, and then towards later that night he's about 290, 275, 280, you know that he could be low every single day at that time, and you could pick him up and sell him later that day. And this is just separate fluctuations. The reason why cards fluctuate is because people decide to put just more listings in 1 hour, and the more listings in an hour, there's more undercuts, which the prices of the player go down, and then the market will determine if it's too low, and then it'll rise right back up. So that is basically how to study graphs and stuff. You could do this with any player. That is the one thing I would tell you guys. Graphs are very, very important. Sometimes a card could be very, very rare, and it might not tell the whole story if he's actually in demand at that price. So I would definitely be careful with some of that. That's where looking at the card price and knowing, oh, this card's over 150k more than where he was 7 or 8 hours ago, I should probably stay off that card. There's a little bit of looking at the market every single day and determining, okay, this price is too low, this price is too high. Futbin is there as a resource for you guys to double check, make sure that your buys are good. Sometimes, especially on PS4, you might not have the time, especially earlier on in the game, to look and see if that price is low. You got to be really quick, very quick instincts. So that's why going through graphs beforehand, before you even get onto the market, is a very good way to just quick instinct, just to make coins that way. Now I'm going to bring you guys to the PGP, and this is basically players game performance. This I want to show you guys because especially early game, looking at the amount of games that are being played with certain cards will show you, and it'll be a direct correlation of their price. So the more games people are playing with cards, the higher in price these cards will go. So obviously there's no doubt, like Fabinho was the most used card this year. 85 Brazilian CDM for Liverpool, had pretty good stats, especially early on. He had the most games played on him. So what ended up happening, I'm pretty sure with his graph, he probably flew in price over the course of the year. Yeah, and he did, exactly. So like the first day he was 24k, and then he flew all the way up to almost like 100k. I don't know if he hit 100k, 96k. And throughout the whole year, man, he was over 70k for the most part until you hit December, and then obviously golds kind of filter out as there's more special cards onto the market. But PGP is very good to use based off of just looking at the amount of games played on cards. There will be a direct correlation of the player's price going up in that way. Another thing I want to show you guys, and I'm going to be referring to this many times this year, is definitely the cheapest players by rating. The reason why we look at this is because when there is times to invest, this is the best time to look at these kind of ratings to see if they're lower than certain prices. Now, obviously, we went on like a guideline this year where we were like, all right, 83s, if they're below 1.5k for good nationalities, buy them. If they're below 1,000 in general, you can buy them. 84s, if they're below 3k, buy them. Like all that kind of stuff, we were kind of there. Over the course of this upcoming year, we're going to kind of determine what's low, what's high for certain cards, and we'll be looking at the cheapest players by rating every single market watch. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is active challenges. So I've mentioned this in a couple of videos before, but the advanced SBCs, looking at the solutions on these pages. If I go to the hybrid leagues, which is usually the first league or the first SBC that people decide to do. So if I go to Prime 9, the way to look at this is if it shows the amount of likes. So if someone likes this, it means that the SBC solution is good. It meets all the requirements. So right here, there's 8 on this, mine 9. Now obviously the game is dead at the moment, like I will keep referring to. So none of these players are really inflated in price because really no one's on the game at the moment. But when FIFA 20 does come out, these players, Luis Adriano will be 1,100 coins. Fernando will be 800-900 coins. These are cards that you can basically trade with because they are very popular going into these SBC solutions. And you could just trade with all these cards. You can find little filters, like maybe Brazilian players in different leagues and stuff like that. So you could definitely get involved with that, just SBC solutions. You got to watch out over here as well with the loyalty. Make sure that your SBC doesn't require loyalty, or it does, before you go and buy the whole solution. People like to literally just copy the actual solution, which makes trading with these cards, especially in the beginning of the game, very, very fun. Ones to watch. So ones to watch is pretty cool. This is what separates Futbin really from the other Ultimate Team sites. This gives you a tracker of basically how these cards are doing. This is going to be very useful, for ones to watch this year, where they give you like their updated stats, their last 5 games, or whenever they've played basically. And this is going to be so effective for FIFA 20. They did this past year. They have obviously the headliners and the ones to watches from the summer and winter in here. But obviously when the FIFA 20 does come out, we'll only have the 23 ones to watch players. So this is where you can pretty much keep track of, are they scoring, are they assisting, and pretty much guarantee. Can I click on the player? I can. And then you can look at a player's price that way and see if they're up in price. If you see that, for example, Tielemans scores 2 goals and an assist, right? And you click on his live item and his wants to watch is not up at all. Say his wants to watch is still discard price. That could be something that you buy, put into your club, because eventually people will catch on. Obviously, Tielemans isn't an amazing example because he's not a meta player. Well, for example, that card could generate some hype, and then you get in before everyone else. So it's very good to keep track in this page. Obviously, if you go into the live section right here, go to wants to watch. Very, very good to look at. The last thing I want to show you guys, this is on the main page, but basically going into all team of the weeks. Actually, I have 2 things to show you that's left. Right here, this gives you all the team of the week. So if you ever have trouble finding cards, right? you can always just go into here and click on every single team of the week, every single promo section there is, and it'll give you so many results of players. You can look at their prices, their graphs, if they're low or they're high or not. So that's something you guys can do as well. If you go back up here, and let's go to the FIFA 19 players. Now this will give you an option for FIFA 20. But right now, so if you ever having, if you ever having trouble like finding players in the market, give yourself like a minimum price and like a maximum price. So for me, I used to love doing, let's go like 50,000 coins to about 175k. This was pretty good for me this year because it allowed me to trade with like multiple cards at the same time. If I had 600-700k in coins, what I would do is I would order by PlayStation price. You could set other filters as well, where you put basically all special cards as like the version. You can look at headliners, carnivals, that previous team of the week page. That's where we basically show all the promo screens, keep track of their prices as well. Right now, obviously, you can look at all these players that are about 50,000 coins. You can keep looking through all of these, and then just keep on looking at their graphs. So, for example, if I think Nicolas Pepe is not 50,000 coins, I'm gonna go click on his profile, and I'm gonna see his graph, and I'm basically look at his daily value, like his daily graph, and then I'll go look at his hourly. You never want to just look at his daily graph. You always want to look at the hourly, chat. I just called you guys chat. That's how much I've been streaming on Twitch. But yeah, you want to be looking at his daily graph, and then you want to double check, just make sure you're looking at his hourly graph, because like right now, you look right here today, or when I'm recording this video today, he was 29,000 coins on a low, and anywhere upwards of 35, 36. Now obviously, when the full game does come out, the fluctuations aren't going to be that crazy like that, but you're gonna see like definitely some like fluctuations with cards, especially out of packs, because there's no more added supply of these cards onto the market, which causes them to fluctuate quite a bit. So yeah, that's like pretty much everything to do with Futbin. Hopefully these tips helped you guys in terms of navigating Futbin. Again, I'm still trying to get better at talking in front of a camera. I can't believe I still need help doing this, but it is what it is. I'll get better at it as I keep on doing YouTube. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Drop a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.